Hi guys, TJ. So I thought I'd do a very quick video. So I'm about to jump in. Well, I am in the car. I'm about to jump in the car. No, I'm already in the car. I've decided to take the entire day off, and I'm going to literally just made the decision about 6-7 minutes ago. I'm going to just drive over to Southampton and see my nieces and spend 1 or 2 days there. Why? Because I can. Why? Because I've designed my life to allow me the flexibility to do things that I desire to do. Now, if you're just starting a business, this is the one tip I gave to someone, one of my mentees recently. If you're focused on just starting a business, so forget if you're already in business. If you're focused on, I want to start a business, then what I would suggest, I don't want to push anything on you guys, is to create a business that allows you to live the life you want to live. Now, in order to live the life you want to live, you have to have been able to see it. So you have to design the life you want to live. Are you starting a business because you want to make loads of money? Fantastic. But what can that money buy you? Is it the freedom to spend more time with your family? Is it the freedom to travel the world? Is it the freedom to be able to take your kids to school in the morning? Is it the freedom to be able to homeschool your kids? So go right to the future and say, hey, this is what I want to achieve. And then build your entire business around that. And that's what allows me to travel every single month. Or that's what allows me to say, hey, look, you know what? Today, this is what I'm going to do because I've designed my life. Nobody went into business in order to create a second job for themselves. So you've already got one job here, then you start another business, and then it's stress and stress and stress. So what I want to do is give you the tools, the understanding that, listen, starting a business now, think about what you want to achieve and then build the business around it. So if it means you have to hire staff right from the get-go, then you hire staff. If it means you have to create certain systems and put certain systems into place, then you create those systems. So you don't create another job for yourself. Don't get me wrong. Nothing beats the hard work, but that's a different topic. All I'm saying is create the life you want to live and design the business you want to have. I hope that makes sense. So I was speaking to one of my mentees recently, and he said, you know what, can I ask you a question? I said, yes, of course. He said, so what do I need to do to be successful? I'm like, don't be silly. There's lots of stuff on YouTube that can answer that question for you. You don't really want to hear what I have to say about what it requires to be successful or to have a semblance of success. It's like, no, tell me, we've still got 10 minutes on the call. Tell me. I said, okay, number one, accept that every single thing, whether it's positive, whether it's negative, you're at fault. Or it's your fault. If it goes well, it's your fault. If it goes bad, it's your fault. If you hired someone and they messed up, it's your fault. If you hired someone and it went great, it's your fault. So no matter what happens, except that you are the CEO, you are the pilot, you're the bus driver, you are the conductor, the train driver, whatever you are the person in charge. So it means if things go well, you take the credit. If things go bad, you take the credit. A lot of us, we're happy to take the credit when things are going great. But when things don't go our way, we're happy to blame someone else. So that's number one. Accept that no matter what happens in your business, in your life, you are responsible. Once you start to take responsibility, then you start to see how your mind changes. Because you start to make wiser and more strategic decisions. Look, no one wants to be in pain. So by accepting that, hey, look, I might have messed up by not doing this and doing this properly, your mind doesn't want you to be in pain. So your mind says, hey, do you know what? How about we think about this decision properly? How about we put more effort in? How about we work a bit harder? Because, hey, if things go bad, you're to blame. So number one, you are to blame. You are responsible. Number two, when, and I don't say if, when things go bad, you're never going to have a free reign. You're never going to start a business and it's going to go up. I don't care whatever your faith is, whatever you believe in. I'm a Christian. It just will not happen. There's grace, understandably, but you will never, ever, ever start a business and take it from 0 to 100 without having trials and tribulations and issues in between. So prepare yourself for those trials. And that's why they have people who have done it before that are willing to teach people. So the mistakes that you make are lessened, if that's a real word, but they're smaller mistakes as opposed to having a big gigantic mistake that completely wipes you out. So the number 2 point is, when you make a mistake, sit in that mistake. Pull up a chair, grab yourself a big massive mirror, and do exactly what I do. I'm a bit harsh to myself, but do you know what? I have to be harsh to myself in order to push myself to the second level, because we tend to be our own victims. we tend to tell ourselves the positive stuff because we blame other people. And we say, hey, do you know what? I did really well. It was that person that messed up. Or do you know what? This happened because of that person. No. In order to get to the second level, pull up a chair when you make a mistake. Pull out a mirror and hold it in front of yourself and give yourself a good old telling off. And say, hey, you made the mistake because of A, B, C, and D. Write them down. Don't try and have a candid conversation with yourself and say, hey, do you know what? No, be harsh with yourself, because we have to be our own worst critic. Because if someone else said, you did this, you might not accept it. You might say, hey, this person's too harsh, this person. But you know what? You're not going to lie to yourself. When and if you make a mistake, do this. Pull up a chair. Sit down, put the mirror in front of yourself and have a conversation and say, why did this happen? How did it happen? And ask yourself the most important question. What am I supposed to learn from this mistake or from this situation? Look, it's the same as a number of men and women that jump from one relationship to another relationship. You get into one relationship, it doesn't last. And guess what? You get into another relationship. But guess what happened? You haven't learned the lesson in between. We jump from relationship to relationship because we think it was the other person. But hey, what if it was you? What if you really had bad breath and that's the reason? No, okay. Let's say you really had bad breath and that was the reason someone decided they didn't want to be with you. Maybe you had a bad attitude. But you have to sit in it. See the mistakes. Your business failed because this and this and this and this happened. Then you ask yourself, what role did I play? And once you're able to kind of dissect and analyze that, you can move on to stage 2. I hope that makes sense. So number 1, as we said, is accept that you are the CEO, which means everything falls back on you. Number 2, analyze, assess, break down. Consider your mistakes. Pull up a mirror, pull up a chair, have a conversation with yourself and say, why did this fail? Don't be soft on yourself. Ask yourself those questions. Why did it mess up? Why did it fail? Why did my relationship mess up? Why did my business fail? Why did my friendship fail? Was it me? And what lesson was I supposed to learn? So you can go to stage 2. Look, I believe in stages in life. There's stage 0 and there's stage 100. So all we're doing is we're starting from stage 0 and there are lessons and lessons and lessons and lessons and lessons to be learned. So listen, take that number 1, take that number 2. Number 3, and this is what I said to him, number 3. So I gave the analogy of, so what we call it in the hood is bust the back door. So the example would be when we were younger and we were trying to get into a club. And okay, so let me give you this understanding. If you want to go to a nightclub, there's generally 2 ways to get into the nightclub. There's the general entry, which means there's a long queue where everyone's queuing up and everyone's going to pay their little £10 or £20 to get in. And then there's the VIP section, which means we've probably paid about £1,000 or maybe £1,500 to get in through another door and then to get VIP treatment. But what people fail to realize is there are 2 other doors that can get you into the same club. So I want you to understand this. There are 2 other doors that will get you into the same club. The third one is what we say, bust the back door. So it means literally climbing over the back of the fence, climbing through the grass, messing up our outfit, sweating and getting dirty, finding the back door, kicking the back door in and going into the club and looking like you haven't done anything wrong. But now you're inside the club, but no one suspects anything. So what I'm trying to encourage people is don't bust the back door literally. But the fact is, find an alternative route. So number 1 is people are going through the VIP. That's for the established. That's for the experience. That's for the people who have the money. That's for the people who are on a different level. Then you've got the general door. But going through that general door means there's no lesson to be learned. There's no creativity. Number 3, as I mentioned, is bust that back door. So what you need to be doing in a business sense is seeing and analysing what other people are doing. And I think it's Warren Buffett that said, when people are fearful, when everyone's going this way, go that way. So we call it going against the grain, going against the flow. If everyone's going in this way, go in that way, because that's where you look for solutions. So learn to bust the back door. So remember, number 1, not in order, well, general entry, VIP entry, bust the back door. And number 4, create your own door. If they're not letting you through the door, and that's what I've been doing all my lifetime, sometimes I want to fit in because it's easier. I'm just like, you know what, people are really doing this. Let me just join Let me just sit with them at their table and let's just enjoy what they've already created. And there are times that they don't want you at their table, so guess what you do? You either bust the back door and just get entry, or you wait for them to invite you in, which is general admission in a club. And then VIP is someone says, hey, you know what, TJ might be, good enough to come in. But no, I bust the back door. I'm finding another route in. So if I can't find another route in, guess what I do? I create my own door and then I go through that door. So it means get creative and start looking for ways that you can do what they haven't allowed you to do. I hope that makes sense, guys. And what else? Just jump. Just jump. You have an idea. Do you know what? The likely chance of your idea actually doing well or doing okay is pretty much 50-50. So why don't we do? It doesn't even make sense to me. I get so confused sometimes. The likely chance of your business actually succeeding or failing is all down to the effort that you put in. So it's really 50-50. If you put the effort in, 50-50. If you don't put the effort in, another 50%. So why do more people not do? Of course, because I understand there are certain fears associated with it. You're scared that you might not make it. You're scared you might lose money. But hey, listen, I'm talking about getting to the place where you're so comfortable in knowing that your effort and you're going to put every single thing that you have into it. Then you might as well just jump. Jump, 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 jump. But anyway, listen, I'm about to start driving. I don't want to use my phone when I'm driving. So I'll catch you guys on the other side. Yeah, just go through the video, caption the 4 things that I say you need before you even start to talk about succeeding. Before you even start to talk about you want to succeed, start with those 4 things first. Accept that you are the CEO of your life. So every single decision, good or bad, falls with you. You take responsibility. For example, if something happens in an Apple store right now, Tim Cook has to take responsibility. If one of his staff end up getting in a fight with a customer, he has to take responsibility. So learn to take responsibility for every single situation. But then number 2 is pull up a mirror, pull up a chair, have a conversation with yourself. Because look, you can't do number 2 if you don't do number 1. You can't learn from their mistakes if you don't accept them as your mistakes. You accept them as someone else's mistakes, so you don't analyze them. Does that make sense? Number 3, find the 4 different doors. So it's either you're comfortable just going through the door that everyone else is going through, which means you're always going to be the same as everyone else, and you're never going to do more, be more, and give more like you can do. So number 1, you can go through the door like everyone else. Number 2, you can get, an invitation to come in through the VIP, but you need to prove yourself, which is the same as VIP. You have to have proven yourself, and you need to pay to get in. Number 3, find the back route, which means sitting down, analyzing the models and saying, this is what this person is doing. This is how they've done it. Do you know what? They haven't thought about this. Let me go through the back door. Bam! Bust the back door. Number 4. I can't even remember it. So number 4 was jump. Take action. That's all you can do. Cheers, bye.